Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new here, please click on like and subscribe. Today I'm going to show you how to make a dowel using a router. Now when you're making a dowel and a router, there's a lot of videos online that show how to do this. I found this to be a safer way than some of the other ones. I've seen them making dowels with the table saw, drill the hole through it, hook it to your drill, plunge it through, and hold on tight. I've tried that method. It does work. It's a little bit more dangerous than I like. So I found this method out and I just wanted to share it with you. So to keep it simple, we're going to start by making a 1-inch dowel. So to make a 1-inch dowel, I need to take a 1-inch piece of stock. So I've cut this piece of stock down to 1 inch. I'm going to take my 1 inch and divide it by 2, which would give me a 1/2 inch. So if I put a 1/2 inch round over bit in here, I'm going to line it up so my bottom barely clears. And I'm going to line my bearing up so the bearing's just barely rolling across. Now I'm going to take a full pass out of this. If you feel safer taking a 1/2 pass, take a couple passes at it. But I've got my fence set up to take the whole piece out. Now when I do this, I don't want to push my entire stick through. I'm going to keep a piece on the end like I did on the left-hand side, plunge it in. And before I get to the very end on the right side, I want to stop. I want to leave myself enough surface that I can keep up against my fence. I want to turn it 180 degrees, not 90, but 180. Plunge it in again, same thing, go across nice and steady. Make sure you keep against your fence with your square edges. And again, before you get to the very end, stop and leave your square edges there so you have something to control it with. That'll help control it going through the router and also keep it from flying out of your hands. Once you're done with that pass, flip it in at a 90, run it through at the 90 degrees. And then once you get that side done, you want to flip it back over and put it at 180 again. So that'll take off your last edge. So 180 over, last edge. Now if you feel safer, please use paddles here. Doesn't make it right because I'm not using a paddle. You should be using a paddle. Either way, once you get that done, you should have a fairly round stock. It may need a little rounding, but we can do that with sandpaper here in just a second. So I'm going to cut off one end, not both ends. I want to keep the square end on the other end because I want to be able to have something to grip onto to sand it down with. Now doing a quick measurement. Now this is right off the router. I haven't done anything to it besides cut that tip off. We're trying to achieve a 1-inch dowel. As you can see by this, I am like 1/100,000th of an off, 1/64th of an inch off from a perfect 1-inch dowel straight from the router with no sanding on it. Now the fastest way I've found to sand this, again with the square still cut on the end of it, find a socket that fits on there snugly. Hook it up to your drill, and then you're just going to basically hold a piece of sandpaper and run the drill and run it back and forth several times. Try to keep even pressure on there. If you put too much pressure on there, it's going to get hot, it's going to grab, it's going to bite. But with a little bit of practice, you'll be able to just go back and forth like this. Sand it down until you get a nice smooth finish on it, and then just check your size a couple of times until you get to the dimension you want. And after about a minute of sanding, I've got this thing down to almost 1 inch. It's nice and circular. I got to go down just a hair more to get it a perfect 1 inch, but you get the idea. Please take a moment, drop a comment in the box down below. It really helps out the video, and click on that like and subscribe if you haven't already.